everyone. I wanted to go live real quick and give kind of an update on the Okeechobee fishing. So I've been out here pre-fishing this week, and fish are kind of weird. They're in a weird stage right now. We got a cold front coming in, so the water temperature dropped like 8 degrees yesterday on the lake, and then we have another cold front coming in tonight. It'll be 39 degrees. So that's definitely impacting the Florida bass. If you know anything about Florida bass, you know they do not like temperature changes, temperature drops, and they will react accordingly. So these fish can go 2 days, 3 days without even eating. So what they do is they'll feed up. So a lot of the bass that we caught yesterday and today are bass that are feeding up before this cold front comes in. So the MLF tournament is supposed to be tomorrow morning. They're saying there's 25 to 30 mile per hour winds. They're going to be gusting up to 30 mile per hour winds. So they've put out a small craft advisory. So the tournament's been officially canceled. So there will be no tournament tomorrow. So because of that, I'll do a live and give you all a fishing update and give you all the tips and tricks I was doing to catch the bass. Again, they're going to reschedule this tournament, so we're probably going to be back down here, and I'll have to do it all over again at pre-fish. But if you're planning on coming down here this weekend to Okeechobee, this is what I would do. This is what my plan was going to be for tomorrow to fish the tournament. But I would definitely be looking for clean water. The majority of the clean water is probably going to be, if you're fishing this weekend, it's going to be on the north end. The wind will be out of the northwest, so the wind will be blowing strong. I highly recommend launching out of Harney Pond if you are going to fish this weekend to be safe. You want to run the grass lines, stay on the north end. The north was pretty clean for the most part. What I saw, there was a majority of boats were in the Indian Prairie. Saw a bunch of boats in the Worm Cove, and a lot of up near Buckhead. So those are the areas I would concentrate on. Try to stay out of that wind and that protected shore, that clean water. I did catch several bass that were peeing, so the fish were moving up on the beds. I think they're actually in that spawning phase right now, where they're actually spawning. Haven't really moved up and locked on those beds yet. So again, fish were kind of in all three phases. I was catching them in the deeper water. I was catching them shallow. I'll post the videos here in a little bit. You'll see the ways I was catching them. Majority of the bites were flipping. The baits I was using, so the round traps are pretty good. Also was using flipping, a lot of flipping. I tried punching. I didn't catch a lot of fish under the mats. They didn't seem to be underneath the mats yet. The water temperature was in the 64, 65 in some spots. I found a couple spots from 70, 71 degrees. So I just don't feel like the fish have moved up under the mats to use those blankets yet. So they were out and about, moving around. I caught a couple just out searching for bait, and then I caught a couple that were up against structure. So flipping the buggy whips, flipping the reeds, flipping any kind of vegetation that's above the water. Also, if you're coming down to Okeechobee, know that the water level is still high. It's 3 foot above normal, and a lot of spots that you normally fish may look different. Maybe flooded, maybe not able to get not able to fish it like you probably did 3 or 4 months ago. So you definitely want to come down here if you got a tournament this weekend. We want to do a little bit of pre-fishing, search around, look at the areas, make sure they're the same as what you saw 2 or 3 months ago, because it's a totally different lake. Last tournament I was down here was a super tournament, 2-day, and the spots I went to looked completely different that I fished. That was only 2 months ago. So get down here and do some pre-fishing. But you definitely want to slow down your baits this weekend. My plan was to go in with a finesse style. I've been using a lot of small flipping creature baits. I probably would have used Cinco, probably would have gone weightless. I probably would have been using some sort of wacky rig, or I might have even broke out the drop shot in some of the spots in that deeper water. So again, I would concentrate, kind of figure out the fish are in that deep water, are they in the, kind of figure out what stage they're in, whether they're moving in or moving out, and then get you on a pattern, and then go fish that pattern. As far as able to fish just about every area, the issue was the boats were flying all inside the grass. So because they're flying inside the grass, one reason is it's dangerous. They're flying inside those areas that you're fishing, so they're within 20, 30 yards of you. So definitely have your head on the swivel, be alert, all the boats flying around there. Something else you want to try to avoid is the chop grass. There was chop grass everywhere. If you're not familiar with chop grass, a lot of the spots that I was fishing had eelgrass, so there was a lot of eelgrass, and as those boats fly through there, they chop up the eelgrass, the tips, and it floats up and gets on top of the water column. So when you're trying to work any bait with treble hooks or just even flipping, your bait's going to get covered with that chopped up eelgrass. So that's something it can help you and hurt you. If the water does drop and it does get cold, then you definitely want to maybe punch through that, flip through those mats and that chop grass. That can be productive certain times of the year as well. So it can help you and hurt you. For me, I was using a lot of moving baits, so it actually hurt me. I didn't catch too much fish underneath that chop grass. And also, if you're able to find any hyacinth that's floated around, that was very, very productive. I did catch some fish around the outsides of it. I punched all through it, flipped through it. I was using a 1/2 ounce to get through it, no problem. Didn't have any bites underneath that, but I was catching the fish around the outsides of it. So again, this weekend's gonna be a lot colder, so they might move up underneath those. So definitely check out any kind of mats, any kind of vegetation floating on top of the water. That might be the deal this weekend. Did try a few shell bars. The fish were not on the shell bars for me. I don't mean they might not be there for you. And again, this weekend's going to be a different fishing, and I guess conditions altogether. You're going to have high winds. You definitely want to keep an eye on the wind in case you are trying to make a run, a long run. Don't get trapped wherever you're at. Make sure that you allow yourself enough time to go across the open water if you need to. And try to use the rim ditch to go to your spots, because it can get very choppy. When we were coming off the water today, it was 3 to 4 foot swells out there. So you definitely don't want to be out there, caught out there in that rough water. Also, if you're not familiar with Okeechobee, it's your first time down here this weekend, you want to pay attention to the water levels. So you might go into an area that's 3 foot deep, the wind pick up, and the water start white capping, and it will literally suck the water out of the area. So that 3 foot that you ran safely could now be a foot and a half, 2 foot of water. So keep that in mind too when you're out there running. You want to make sure that you're keeping an eye on that water levels. So just keep that in mind as well. But again, if you have any questions, comments, or you want to know anything about the lake, just put those in the comment section down below, and I'll try to answer them the best I can. But thanks for watching, and check out my other videos, because I'll be pushing them here shortly, of how I was catching the fish, what baits I was using. Colors really didn't matter this weekend. I was catching them on watermelon red, I was catching them on June bug, black and blues, just your typical Florida colors. I don't think it really mattered. It was just a matter of putting the bait in front of the fish. So I wouldn't worry too much about the colors. Listen to my other buddies and stuff like that. It sounds like it was pretty much everybody was on the same kind of fish, same kind of patterns. So hope this helps you out. Again, thanks for watching.